Hi everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have two Divine Masculine Twin Flame reads for you today. Please bear with me, I didn't sleep at all last night, so it's been a little bit of a trying day, so I'm a little bit loopy, but there's some really important messages that you need to hear, so I did want to make sure these get out. I'm going to clear just a little bit. So, as you all know, it's March 8th, 2020. The 8 is the number of strength, and the day adds up to 15, which is the devil energy, but it's also a 6 of love, family, and community. So, yeah, there is definitely a little bit of a devilish energy today. The sexual energy issues are coming up again today. This first read was done at 3 a.m. this morning. The SIRIAN Starseed deck, which is the main deck for the read, for those of you who don't watch all the time. SIRIAN Starseed deck is the main deck. There's 7 decks here. The Rider-Waite Mini, the Tarot Sexual Magic, the Gilded Tarot, the Universal Golden Tarot, the Numerology deck, the Romance Angels. Did I say that already? Did I get them all? I think so. But anyway, there's 7 decks, so it's a lot of energy. It's a general read, so if it doesn't resonate with you, please don't force it to fit. Some of the messages are very specific to people, and others are very general messages. And it's also good for the masculine within the feminine. So this first read, like I said, was done, the SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut at 3:19, which is the Empress and the Sun. And then it was finished at 3:38, which is the Empress and the Queen of Cups. The major arcana for the first read, which actually I'll show you the basic read from this. This was 3 a.m. this morning. Okay. So the major arcana for that read were Luna, which is the moon, Justice, solar deity, the sun, Strength, and the Hanging Man, or the Hanged Man. Before the read, Transition, or the Death card came up, and after the read, the Tower came up. There were 3 cups, 2 wands, and 1 sword. The court cards were the King of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and after the read, the Knight of Wands also came up. We had double ones and triple fives. Okay, triple fives. Big changes. So the double ones is 11 of Justice, and then we also had 3, 2, 1 jump. So 1, 2, 3, and 3, 2, 1 is like that countdown to go. 15 came up, the Devil. 13, the Death card. 45, the 5 of Cups, which is the grieving card, also the being at the winding the road, you know, not leaving the past go. And 58 is the 4 of Swords, the connection of meditation, rest, and sleep, but also the 5D connection between the twins. The code line was all about synchronicity, and the SY was covered, so it was coming up as N chronicities. For me, capital N is Jesus, so that has to do with chronicling Jesus's life, which of course we're following that Mary Magdalene Jesus template as the twins. And then the SY can be Sophia, the Sophia energy of the feminines, stuck at the Y in the road. So the Sophia energy is not just in the feminines, it's the masculines as well. So that's what's coming up here, which can be that more, you know, teary energy as opposed to getting angry, which is more masculine. So the code line numbers were 1, 5, and 6. So against the 1 and 5 were separate, but 1, 5 is 15 of the Devil again. The 1 is the Magician, the 5 is the Hierophant, and the 6 is the Lovers. The message on the code line was about the temperature of the twins, the feminine within the masculine, rising as the gate is open and the masculine needs to toggle up. I was getting the SOS, right? So in an emergency, send out an SOS, toggle up. When dealing with alternating currents back and forth from the feminine energy, as well as air conditioning, right? Conditioning the thinking man. The Ace of Cups was here, and expansion and change, the Hierophant. And also SAG was coming up. So Screen Actors Guild always comes up with that for me because it has to do with acting, not being your true self. And also different T's might be coming up as well, or just Sagittarius energy. Also a footbridge was coming up, and the fortnight came up yesterday, so that's just coming up again for me now. The 2 weeks and the 14th, the 3/14. And of course, every 2 weeks is the lunar cycle as well. So the footbridge comes up here, as well as the portal and the gateway, the bridge. So the feminine energy so off today, alternating currents and air conditioning, like I said. New love, and seeing the Jesus Chronicles, which I didn't realize in this read because it wasn't until the second read that I got guided to a lot of information. So sorry about that. I didn't realize it wasn't in focus. There's a lot of information that came up in the second read about that kind of stuff. So it was very important and cool what came up. So this first one, that started out with the moon and the underlying energy, which was reversed, with the Four of Wands upright below it, as well as transition, which is the Death card, Eight of Cups, and Ten of Pentacles, both upright. So in deception, or Delta Dawn, right before the sunrise, after home, dead tired, at 3:53, I was writing this last night. 3 is the Empress, 53 is the Knight of Swords. So home, dead tired, walking away from the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy. Lovers, Ten of Pentacles, frustrated, uninspired, or ill child. The Chariot reversed, broken, starting over in love, coming together with a group. Lovers, block, and the Ten of Pentacles offer is unacceptable. A sick child holding up the group. Not like holding them back, but literally it's like they were using this child energy to hold up the group, which obviously is not a stable energy to hold up a whole group. A weak support system. The Queen of Swords holding on, saving, grounding, starting over, committing to self, or the Hierophant, Taurus, establishment, religion energy, implementing a plan. Of the Queen of Swords reversed with issues at work. An exit strategy away from the Queen of Wands at work, and the black cat was coming up here again, both with long tails, right? So the cat with the long tail, and then the Queen of Wands coming up with the long story to tell, right? So no more constant gardening instead of earning a living. Impatient fallen angel. The Emperor is insecure without their tools, and the messenger of truth is rushing in to save the day. Thinking about red roses, so cliche, in the home stretch, with feet wrapped in bandages. Stay optimistic came up for the masculine, as well as below that was heart-to-heart conversations. A reunion, not destined to that day anyway, for the conceited one. In jealous rage, the Ten of Cups reversed, family end, with the Queen of Pentacles. Him begging her to stay, after caught with another man or woman, whoever it was. There was some kind of third-party energy coming in here. Or dealing with wild teenagers who go into jealous rages, right, when they don't get their way. So effort came up, and below that was change. The Page of Cups reversed, rejected, vulnerable, can be the crybaby energy or the spoiled brat in their bliss. Recovery from dark birds. The Queen of Cups reversed, drained, sick and tired, overexposed, in the past dumping emotional attachments in this transformation, with conflict, a battle, competition, and or expansion at 4:15, which is the Emperor, and 15 is the Devil. And the night went by so fast, which is partly why I didn't go to bed, because by the time I looked at the clock, it was like almost 4 o'clock, and I'm like, what happened? And I didn't realize it was spring forward today, so we lost an hour. So at 4:15, the Emperor and the Devil, conflict, battle, competition, and expansion. Sports, grass and fungus, dumping out perfectly good chalices or cups. A dark shield or cello, base waterworks and Park Place, ivy growing from gold hanging lamps, and West Side Story and reenactments of war and fights. Sports, in other words, only sparring with those with gold exchange. So it's coming up with like people only want to hang out with elite, right? Because they only want to be in that energy, right? Because that's how they manifest that. So night games or matches were coming up here. Let's see here. Yeah, night games or matches are up before dawn to play, sports. Issues at work, getting along, or finances, or third party, messenger of truth rushing in, the Queen of Pentacles, and stay optimistic came up, as well as effort beneath that for the masculine. This page started at 4:20, which is actually the time my son was born. So that was some masculine energy. It's also 4:20 is the 42 of the Two of Cups, with the 0 backing it up with the source energy. The recent past is the 5 of Cups, upright, with grief, at war within, keeping to self about their twin, the sealed divine feminine under the radar, exposure to all, or kids and a Leo presenting the truth. A fallen angel dumped, and the King of Swords is who's upright, and the King of Cups reversed. Kids or childhood friends or siblings not getting along here. The foundation was justice in dumping attachments. There's a lot about dumping attachments today. In detox at work, the High Priestess expressing negative messages or rumors of arrows of love and third party through work. The central energy is the Ace of Wands reversed, frustrated, and the King of Swords in a twist of fate, walking away after the truth is presented. Awake, the King of Pentacles upright is now speaking. The challenge being the purge, crying, dumped, or in the dumps, overwhelmed, peeing, vomiting, walking away. The Knight of Cups reversed is jealous and or insincere. The Queen of Cups reversed is performing with the Queen of Swords and her truth. The Knight of Cups is juggling too, and the Hermit reverse is coming out to find peace in perhaps some vacation areas. The dolphins were coming up. And awake with ideas. The Hermit reversed, not at the gate. No more sweets and tweets, no more missing flame. Three of Wands upright, Eight of Swords reversed, present in release from energy harvesting, exposing all Seven of Cups reversed, dumping attachments energy. The Fool reversed, being foolish with feelings in a sudden explosion, event, epiphany, or orgasm, as holding back and grieving. Now the King of Cups reversed, announcing judgment, announcement, wake up the dead, a call, a painful ending and betrayal, and then a new life with clarity and conflict or competition for riches and status. Defenseless to energies and attacks of energy harvesting, stealing, running away, and drama. The King of Cups reversed, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Magician reversed, insecure. Definitely manipulation energies could be coming up here after a fight, then come together in a nightmare of memories. The Page of Pentacles is learning, perhaps suffering in silence, stressed out, or just up crying or not sleeping at night. And the King of Pentacles holding back money and a new life. Judgment of the Divine Masculine, perhaps near death, or just dead tired, in inequity or debt or scam, now strategizing, dissatisfaction of foolish feelings, the Empress reversed, in a shocking surprise at home, sudden energy connection, and again, orgasm was coming up. So the sexual energy is a big theme, and also sexual wounding and how it affects you and your twin and what you do to each other in regards to that. Soon is the Five of Wands reversed, the battle over, separation in 5D, and dissatisfied King of Cups reversed, choosing left or the new. The Hierophant is stubborn. The King of Wands is upright, healing and dreams come true, with the Page of Pentacles student, with the Emperor walking away jealous perhaps. The King of Wands is stubborn and not moving. Taurus, Aquarius taking off, and the student of the 5D and meditation, so dealing with that. And the Emperor in separation. The King of Cups reversed, unhappy. The masculine seeing himself as the Sun upright. The wounded warrior player exposed. Exile, destiny, injury or illness. Deceived by the Queen of Wands reversed, ending the family or emotional cycle, needing a vacation, right? So we have safe to love, healing family issues, release your ex, and separation all came up for the masculine today at 457, which is the Emperor and the Three of Swords. Again, that's separation. And around the masculine, or how he is seen at 452, which is the Queen of Swords, strength, frustration, grief. The King of Wands, healer of ages, without love though. Clear blocks, divine masculines of the Queen of Swords, releasing the Queen of Pentacles. Weak or in ego death, disabled, not working. So like let go of preconceived notions about what's going on with the Queen of Swords or Queen of Pentacles as far as the divine feminine energies and what's like on your checklist or your not checklist, right? So synchronicity comes up, patience, music, and creativity, even more so for the masculine. Romance out in the cold, an olive branch extended between two twisted pillars. The Page of Cups reversed, giving up on something to say, or suddenly found the words. The Hanging Man is awake with a right knee block, so some anger issues still there to clear for the masculine, clinging to their money. shocked by orgasm energy, withholding and grieving awakening. The Tower at home with sovereign present to make him feel a fool. The Knight of Wands upright rushing in. At war, bodyguard, defensive end. The Frog expanding to the Prince, coming together in reunion. Atlas hung out to dry, working to align and get their ducks in a row. Deception, justice, exposure, and sunshine. Weakness, grieving, frustration, and third energy. Challenged by feeling pushed to your emotional limits after battle or competition. The Queen of Swords pulled the trigger, and the King of Cups reversed, woke right up. And again, that orgasm or third energy stuff is coming up today. The Knight of Wands, Frog Prince, reunion is imminent. And that was the last part of that read. All right, so, and I watched this movie called Freaks last night, which was a strange movie. So that kind of energy is coming up. Is there anything else? All right, so the second read, which is in front of you. And this is important, so we're definitely getting referred to the Bible and the 144. A lot of cool connections were coming up here. So this read was done at 10:32 this morning. At 10:28 to 29, the World card flipped out onto the King of Swords. And he was in the position of blocks to clear, which he is here. And the World for me in the traditional deck for Rider-Waite is the sealed divine feminine, basically marching to the beat of her own drum, right? Because she's sealed within the wreath on the World card. So that is the card that flipped out onto the King of Swords, right? The feminine wanting to fling herself at the masculine, and those blocks that need to be cleared. And again, it's around sexual energy and wounding today. At 10:32, this was done. 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, 32 is the Six of Wands. The major arcana here were Reflection, which is the Hermit, and Transition, which is the Death card. And that was it for the majors for this read. We had 4 Cups, 3 Pentacles, 2 Swords, and the core cards were the Page of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and then before the read, the Knight of Swords came up, and after the read, the King of Wands came up. All right, so we had 2 Kings, 2 Pages, and 1 Knight there. So the numbers in the code line were all about financial discipline for the masculine, and we had double 2s, double 3s, and double 8s today. The code line added up to 37. It was 27 and 10, which is the Ace of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune, and the 37, of course, being the King of Cups, unconditional love. The other numbers that came up were 22, the Fool, 33 is the Christ vibration, but also the 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself without getting defensive. The 88 of the masculine and feminine, both balanced and doing the dance between their masculine and feminine side by side. And then the 432, 1, 2, 3, jump. 78 is the end of the tarot, the 10 of Pentacles. And then 23 came up, the King of Wands, and then 38, the Queen of Cups. Also, in a lesser sense, 12 came up for the Hangman, 36, the 10 of Wands, which is also Atlas energy. 37 came up again, the King of Cups. 67 is the Knight of Pentacles, and then 810, which can be 81 with that source energy backed up, you know, the 0 backing it up. And 81 is the end of karma, according to the numerology book, The Divine Triangle. It's like the end of your life cycle. Like once you hit 81, then you're finished your contract, so you can decide what you want to do. So the message here on the code line regarding financial discipline, and the first 2 letters of each word here were covered up in financial discipline. So it was financial, and then discipline, or, you know, discipline. So, and some stuff came up from that. But as far as the code line, it was about financial discipline. And of course, the 37 and the new passion that is destined between the twins that came up in the numerology in the code line. The TV Apple was coming up, you know, like your iPhone or your iPad. So the TV Apple, and seeing the key to the 7 C's, the 10 of Cups, family bridge, and supporting the touchstone or that high vibration. Editor-in-Chief was also coming up here. going online, like YouTube stuff, and seeing the key to the chariot, which is the feminine within the masculine, and like I said, the 7 C's came up here, to see the emotional fulfillment. And besides editor-in-chief, earned income credit also came up here, and then also the Tennessee Valley Authority, and seeing the key to the chariot, right? The vehicle to get where you're going, to see the 10 of Cups. And of course, 10 of Cups Ministry is Sonia, for those of you who don't know her, so she may be getting a plug right here. And then a mass key to their high vibration. Fidelity was coming up here, right? So being committed to yourself, which then in turn is your twin, because your twin's your higher self. Nancy and Al came up from the financial in my coding. So it was 5 for fidelity, and then Nancy and Al. So in Nancy and Al, where did I write that down? It'll come up in a second. But I was guided to switch them around because it's financial and then discipline, right? But we usually hear sci-fi, so I switched the phi with the discipline and the die with the nantial, okay? And that's how more coding came up. So I was getting the phi psi, so which is the reverse of sci-fi, and then the P line. So for P, for me, that's an off-centered human, like so a human who's not centered. So there's that fine line, right? And here's the phi psi line, not the sci-fi line, but the fidelity and science line of staying centered. So what is it that can help you as far as nutrition and health and healthcare concerns, that kind of thing. I was getting, then for the other word, it switched to die, and then NA, and then N, which is code Jesus for me, and then the CIAL, which is shill for financial, but it's dinancial. So we have di, and then Na is sodium, N is Jesus, and then CIAL is seal. So di, sodium, Jesus, seal, which is sealed with a kiss, which is salty. So salty was coming up, but then when I went online, the 10 of chalices, which came up in the code line, came up the endless flow like Niagara Falls. Okay, so this was important because the 10 of cups was coming up in the header. So first came up 10 of cups ministries with Sonia, and then Niagara Falls came up for that. So TVA also came up, which is the Tennessee Valley Authority, which is interesting to me because I was born in Tennessee, but I left when I was 2, so I don't know much about it really. But when my daughter and I drove to Atlanta when she moved, we drove through there. We were going to stop there, but we were told not to because the city's so bad. There's someone who lives, a waitress that we saw at a restaurant near my house here outside Philadelphia. It was from Memphis, and she's like, don't stay there, don't stay there. So she was like, not even Graceland unless you go in the middle of the day. So I was pretty surprised. But then when I drove through it, it looked pretty rickety. Like the bridge looked like a monster had taken a big bite out of the bridge or something. So there was some just old and dilapidated energy going through Memphis. So the Tennessee Valley Authority came up, as well as the tax on value added, which is an import tax. KTVA, which is an Alaskan station. I'm having trouble speaking, I guess because we're going Mercury direct soon, and I'm Virgo. WTVA also came up, which is a Channel 9 news in Mississippi and Alabama. And then the seal came up, and so I didn't seal, the word seal was not in the header. So the fact that I converted at CIAL to the word seal, and then seal came up in the headers here, the Jesus seal. So the seal of God is the Holy Spirit, which is the Sophia, the Mother Godhead. But there's a lot of quotes from the Bible here that were really coming together for me as far as the twins. It was very interesting. I was getting a lot of connection through this with my twin as well. Around 11:03, I started noting connections. And then, let's see here. So the 7 seals came up, the seal of God and the Holy Spirit, the third eye, and the chakras, and then Revelation 7:2, which is the day I met my twin, 7:2. And then also 7 2 plus 7 2 is the 144. So they were asking in this page, who are the 144,000? And they were talking about that some say it's the literal Jews and some say it's the general believers in Christ. But and the person who was writing this were saying that, but they were wrong. Revelations 7 and the 12 tribes of Israel, reflecting the 12 gates in Jerusalem from Revelations 21:12, which then reflects again the 12:21 of 2012, the end of karma. And they were quoting Matthew 21:43, which is interesting because my son's Matthew and his soul number is 43, that Jesus told the Jews the kingdom of God would be taken from them and given to another. So just bear with me. I'm just quoting this stuff they were saying. Okay, so, and for those, today's the 8th, so remember tomorrow is the full moon in Virgo. The 10th is Mercury going direct, and things tend to act up more right at the retrograde and direct energies. And then 3/14 is that fortnight, but it's also Pi Day and that Valentine's Day for girls to ask out. So as I get into the 144 that was coming up here, and I was also getting Harper's Bazaar at one point here. One of the sites I was in here is the seal-of-god.com. And then Revelations, you know, like so Bible Hub and things like that. And the tribe of Levi was coming up, which was the 4th tribe. And a descendant of Aaron, and Aaron was my grandfather's name with 2 A's. And my other grandfather knew Levi Strauss because my great-grandfather actually invented the flap for the Levi zipper with the coal miners. So it's kind of interesting that all the names are related to my family members. So I love how they get these messages across to you guys through me. Thunder and earthquake came up, and for me, Metatron is coming up in reference to that stuff. And also the quote, the sea of glass mingled with fire, has to do with the glass ceiling and us transmuting the fire. So in the 144, Revelations 14, 1 through 5, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion. And you notice they spelled Sion, S-I-O-N, not Z-I-O-N here. And notice that for me, breaking that down is S for Sophia, and then Ion, which is connection. The Sophia connection, Sion. With him, 144 having his father's name, and I'm paraphrasing, so it's not word for word, written in their foreheads. So as soon as I read that, because I'm not educated in religion in any way, as soon as I saw that, for me that meant third eye. I heard a voice as of many waters, as of the great thunder, and of harpers harping with their harps, as it were a new song, before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders. No one could learn that song but the 144, which were redeemed from the earth. The first fruits unto God and to the Lamb, and I'm just paraphrasing again, without fault before the throne of God, no longer sinning because they have claimed the power of Christ and his righteousness, living sin-free lives, or in other words, no karma. And again, this is the seal-of-god.com, the seal-of-god.com. That they are the bride of God, the holy people. They do not worship the false Trinity God because they have received the seal of the living God, right? So the Father and the Christ, which is Sophia, which is the twins. Speaking to the church of Philadelphia, Jesus says, which I'm Philadelphia, so it's funny this came up too. Having received the seal of the living God, speaking to the church of Philadelphia, Jesus says in Revelations 3:12, the New Jerusalem basically was equaling the bride of Christ, the Philadelphia church, the 144,000, the group who became the pillars in the temple of God, the representatives of the heaven on earth, the New Jerusalem, on their forehead written, God, New Jerusalem, and a glorious star, which then would be the Merkaba. Okay, so the Merkaba is the star, the third eye is the forehead message, right? And And then the 10 virgins for those who are still sleepy, that we need to wake up. That this message would also contain Jesus' new name. And the 10 virgins must be woken to go to the wedding of the 144. Those born of God cannot sin because they are born of God. And their relation, there's a connection here to the Levites, right? To the Levi tribe in the Old Testament in the 144. They were set apart. They were not counted. This tribe was set apart from the other tribes. The seven mountains with the roses and lilies, and also some of the other things that were listed there were pomegranates and fig trees. The pillars, only the ones allowed in the temple. 7 lamps came up, as well as the sea of glass before the throne, and that was 4:6, and 46 is the secret garden, the 6 of cups. Again, the sea of glass mingled with fire has to do with us transmuting those fire energies. And Revelations 14, which is 14 and 41 were coming up yesterday, and the 144 today, which is the 41 of the Ace of Cups, love, spiritual love, true love, and then the 14 of the angels, patience and balance, but it's the higher love of the angels. The 144 pass through a time of trouble, and then they become the sealed ones. The 7 seals, in the book they talk about, it's obviously the Akashic records, because only the people who could read it would know. So that has to do with Akashic records. And then in 7/2, which again is the day I met my twin, is literally titled the 144,000, the sealed. 4 angels, 4 corners, and 4 winds. And I saw another angel ascending from the east. And I've been talking about the east a lot. Northeast, southeast, but east always comes up, with the seal of the living God. And he called out in a loud voice to the 4 angels who had been given power to harm the land and the sea. So then I went back to the coding, which about the disodium, Jesus, and the seal. The salt of the earth and sealed with a kiss was coming up on the forehead. So this is like Jesus giving this message, is saying, giving the 144 a kiss on the forehead, good night, the salt of the earth and sealed with a kiss. So I really love that message came up from the coding today. All right, so go back to the coding here. And again, we have the TVA. And now, because the Levi tribe was saying it stems from Aaron, my grandfather, TV Aaron was coming up, the Levi tribe, to see the key of the 2 and the 7, or the 7 and the 2. And 27 is the Ace of Wands, and 72 is the 4 of Pentacles. And remember, I'd said on one video recently that the 4 of Pentacles of each of the masculine and feminine being moderate, right? Saving, grounding, and being moderate. Well, the 4 of Pentacles equals the 8 of Pentacles, which is them working. They're co-creating. So the 27, just paralleling this now too. The 72 and 72 is the 144. And there's another segment I quoted recently too that talked about the 72 walking 2 by 2. So that's actually, for me, the 144,000. It's like Noah's Ark. There was actually 72 pairs, which becomes the 144. So Aaron and Levi tribe to see the key of the 2 and the 7, or the 27 and the 72. The 27, the Ace of Wands, the flame, and the 72, the 4 of Pentacles, being practical and moderate. To see the 10 of Cups, which was then referred to in the headers as Niagara Falls. And so going back to Niagara Falls, there was more messages here. So I did 7-2 and 7-2, like in pairs, becomes the 144. And then there was the 10, so we were adding another 0 on the 144, so I was getting 1440. Also being the bridge support at Niagara Falls, commitments, touchstone, and touch down to the high vibration out of touch. Okay, that which cannot be touched. Toggling up and going over the bridge, the rainbow bridge. So salt was coming up here, seal was coming up here, and the 7 seals. The secrets until the lamb and the lion of Judah, and the lamb having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which is the 7 and 7, which is the 77, which is the sovereign. The first 4 released the 4 horsemen, Okay, we have the white horse, the red horse, the black horse, and then the pale horse of death. So just going through the cycles of life, basically, and war. The first one on the white horse with the bow and a crown and the conqueror. The red horse had to do with power and wielded a sword to kill one another. The black horse had the scales of justice, the hardship that happens post-war, right? The PTSD and the looting that happens. And then the pale horse of death, to kill with their sword and continue all that stuff that happens. Hunger and death and the beasts of the earth. So the words coming up, Aaron, Levi, and then because my father's father, Aaron, actually helped Israel to become a state. And that's Aaron with 2 A's. My mother's grandfather, his name was David Lubin, was very famous as far as the Jews. I can't even explain to his life. It's amazing to me how people became so good at so many things in their life. But he comes up as well because he founded an agricultural institute in Rome, which ended up in the rolled into the I'm blanking out. I want to say the League of Nations, but that's not what I want to say. But anyway, you get the idea. There, and also then David's paralleling the Bible, right? So we have Aaron, Levi, and David, my great-grandfather David, knew Levi Strauss at the coal miners because he invented the flap at the coal miners. So we have Aaron, Levi, David, and then Niagara Falls. And then the 72 of the 144, the 72 pairs. The key, the seal, and the salt of the earth, and the seal with a kiss, which is like the kiss of Jesus on your forehead, the message of the third eye. And so in 1988 was coming up. Remember I told you in the code line that Nancy and Al were coming up. And what came up was 1988, so here we have the 88 again, the masculine and the feminine dancing next to each other. And this was posted January 3rd, 2009. It was a YouTube of Nancy Wilson and Al Jarreau, their performance along with Ella Fitzgerald at a prestigious award event. So maybe they're getting props here, Nancy Wilson and Al Jarreau, as well as Ella Fitzgerald. And then from the site of Ascended Masters Spiritual Retreat, again, so I've been to this before, Atlantis, goddess of liberty, erected the Temple of the Sun, Manhattan Island. The etheric counterpart remains a major world center, focusing on the flames of the 12. I guess hierarchies of the sun. Can't read my writing, so I was so tired when I was writing this. The temple was the west gate of Atlantis, now has become the east gate of the New World. So here again is the east that I keep talking about. And I had, like 2 years ago, I'd been guided to go to the Statue of Liberty because I'd never actually gone to Ellis Island. So me and my daughter, we went, and I was guided to do some grid work there. But what I found out before I went there is that there's an etheric altar from Atlantis that actually hangs above the Statue of Liberty, which has to do with what I was just stating about the goddess of liberty erected in the Temple of the Sun on Manhattan Island, right? But then losing the land masses going away, this is the etheric counterpart that remains, all right? So there's a major altar above the Statue of Liberty regarding this New York energy, focusing on the flames of the 12 of the sun. The temple was the west gate of Atlantis, has become the east gate of the New World. The main altar over the Statue of Liberty. So then, from a site called waymarking.com, there's a Statue of Liberty replica, and the numbers came up for it: 17T, and then E, and then 657624, and then N for North, 47724666. And if you cancel out all the numbers, like 66 would get canceled out because they're the same number, it comes out to TEN, which then for me is Tennessee again, which came up in the coding, which is also the place I was born, and then 154. But also this coding, what it had to do with was that replica of the Statue of Liberty near the entrance to the Rainbow Bridge to Ontario, Canada, which goes from Niagara Falls to Ontario. It's actually in New York. So there is a Statue of Liberty at Niagara Falls, and it actually, one of the sites listed the miles between Niagara Falls and the Statue of Liberty in New York, which is 661 miles. Also, I-10 and Highway 54 came up as closed Sunday in El Paso for 24 hours. And so other rainbow bridges were coming up here. So the main one we're talking about is Niagara, because as you know, especially when I was doing my sand art, we got a lot of referrals back to Niagara Falls as far as ET sightings. I got a lot of messages about Niagara Falls. So there's also a rainbow bridge in Utah, which is actually a natural monument. It's called a rainbow bridge. There's another one in Japan, which is really huge. Access to the bridges of America is the port of entry in El Paso. It's BOTA. So several rainbow bridges were coming up, but the most important one had to do with the Statue of Liberty here. And the gates. And in this reading in front of you too, the gates open again. So as we start this read, what did I write up there? So going back to the code, the 10 of Cups was definitely referencing Niagara Falls and the Rainbow Bridge and the Statue of Liberty with the etheric altar. And maybe etheric altar is actually over that Statue of Liberty, right? Because that would be less known, the path less traveled, because it's not actually the real Statue of Liberty, but it's by the Rainbow Bridge that goes from Niagara to Ontario. So mastering this high vibe energy of the etheric realms, Niagara Falls and the bridge came up in the coding, so it had to do with this bridge. And the 2 and the 7, which have to do with the 2 and the chariot, which is the masculine and the feminine within the masculine. To see the key in the 2 of the twin flames and the 7 of the chariot, the 7 seals, and the TVA, which has to do with, like YouTube TV and Aaron and the Levi tribe, seeing the key of the 2 and the 7 and the 72 in the chariot, the twins in the chariot, and seeing the Niagara Falls Bridge, the Rainbow Bridge, and the etheric altar. And bridge support, supporting commitments, touchstones, touch tones, touch stones, and touch down of high vibrations that are out of touch. And then I was just getting California Dreamin'. All right, so did I miss anything? I don't think so. Okay. So starting to read in front of you, because I just turned 43, which is the 3 of Cups coming together and reunion, and my son's soul number. It's 1:08 p.m. when I started this read, and we start with the Page of Cups here, and then underneath that was the 2 of Cups here, the Knight of Swords, and then the 6 of Wands here. The message of love after the 2 of Cups, messenger of truth, is on a journey. Dumping attachments to the King of Swords reversed. The Magician reversed is insecure. The High Priestess is also there reversed with secrets, or not reversed but upright. Secrets or psychic abilities, holding back announcement. The twins, the twins and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Getting over loss and regret, guilt and shame. Coming clean as the third party, suffering in silence. Coming out with new love. The gate is open. Love is presented. Chocolate brown robe versus pink or red blanket. So brown and pink were coming up, which has to do with illness and compassion. The Knight of Pentacles, loyal, humble servant, is out with their offering. The King of Pentacles to those without and with injustice, or 2 left out in the cold, left behind, forgotten, laid off, or fired, and it doesn't seem fair. Could be from a church or a synagogue or a temple or mosque or an establishment where people were turned away who don't have enough money. Past life, and again that came up earlier in the read about only doing sports, right, with high profile people with money. Past life relationships come up here, and beneath that was honeymoon. The creepy Hierophant from the Tarot Sexual Magic was here reversed, so that's not a nice energy. But that was out here, and the Justice reversed too, which is injustice. Holding back money, new life for twins. The masculine opening his heart to leap. The Fool's upright here. The lovebirds and sweet memories and dessert in the park, walking a fine line with billowy curtains and an altar and a snake at his feet. Blue boxing gloves, a moonwalk, the edge of Niagara. Watch out, better not fall. However, the bouncy bounce is below. The billowing falls, right? So if you do fall, the billowing, the bouncy bounces are below. The altar on glass ceiling is the rainbow bridge over falls. All right, so this is coming together with the coding that came up. Taurus reversed and Libra reversed, looking back at perhaps at a honeymoon or a second one at Niagara Falls. Aries is coming up here as a, it's not coming out the way I wrote it. I wrote it, Aries is walking, like they're getting out of here. But the way I was just going to read it was Aries is a walk in. New beginners or new beginning is number 1. So the walk-ins are new beginners. So somebody could be getting a walk-in. New beginnings comes up, which is number 1. Betrayal of the Hierophant reversed. Divorce or Taurus reversed or breaking contract, and then happy endings is 93. So it was new beginnings, and beneath that was happy endings. So the happy endings comes first, and then the new beginnings. Message of love in need of sunshine, uninspired and frustrated, the Hermit is focusing. Or 2 kids, the Page of Cups upright and the Page of Wands reversed, Leo and Virgo, or that's their parents. After a fight or game or conflicts, home with the Emperor reversed, out of control, abusing their power, or in ego death. They're just not doing well. 2 bunnies in the yard, 2 butterflies in the grass and shrooms. The Emperor reversed and the Page of Wands reversed were fighting, or tired from a game perhaps, or someone's doing a homework project, a report on Trump reversed was coming up. The Emperor reversed perhaps is upset, and the Page of Cups offered a big love. The Page of Cups is offered a big love from Libra reversed, or something that's just not fair. A Fool or Aries is walking away, taking a hike, and new beginnings. Recently is the Hermit reversed, a partner, a bond, a soulmate, with the Page of Pentacles, student, learning. From the Queen of Cups reversed, lover. Broken-hearted, post-war, the Queen of Pentacles reversed is home. The Queen of Wands reversed, who could be the same here as the Queen of Pentacles. They could be the same person. The cards are right next to each other, or they could be 2 separate people. But the Queen of Wands is coming up next to the Devil, or Capricorn, and Death Be Not Proud. The man himself, the Dark Knight, arrives. Capricorn, Scorpio, Virgo, Gemini here, as well as Aries, Leo, Virgo, Gemini, Pisces, Aquarius, Libra, and Taurus in the underlying energies, and that was at none other than at 144. So at 144, we're at the foundation, a very strong foundation of the 144. The 3 of Pentacles upright, the whole truth offered at work in exchange for love, the big love, but it's not working. Energetic exchange, expressing feelings, a lot of back and forth of messages, communications or travel. And the Page of Swords is reversed with negative talk, rumors, spying, immature words or messages, standing up for self to say what's not working for him. The center energy is the Page of Pentacles upright in uncomfortable energies. And that for me comes up when you have to do your work on yourself around other people, which makes it more difficult. So coming clean and healing and dreams, or with Aquarius and the King of Cups reversed, or a negative group or drinkers, or coming up with no social life, no joy. Post-war, things are slow, but an opportunity at work or a child, and the challenge being the 10 of Cups upright, which came up in the code line. The Emperor reversed at work with Page of Pentacles upright, so somebody could have a child or student tagging along to work or to learn at work, or healing Aquarius. The Page of Pentacles upright and the Page of Wands is also upright, keeping to self, trying to get something done. The Page of Cups and the Devil just stopped by to say hi, or a message of love from Capricorn. We have 10 of Cups with deception going on the journey, where the sun is reversed, so people in need of sun or vacation or just really drained, sick or tired, overexposed, but I'm dealing with the same thing every day, needing sunshine or up before dawn. And I wrote under, I don't know why, but so somebody could be under before dawn. So getting over it, dissatisfied, uncomfortable energies, impatient in deliberations or indecision. Lovers are sovereign and come full circle, but unhappy alone in the aftermath of holding back a new life or money. Now, in the crowning position is the Death card, transition. The portal is wide open. And they're just over it and sovereign, so independent. Exchanging energy, but depressed in betrayal with the Emperor reversed, holding back time, money, or a new life, saving, grounding, being moderate after ending, death, or a big change. Uncomfortable energies with the Knight of Pentacles offering something healthy in the avoid dance, no longer pretending. The Queen of Swords pulled into inspiration about a new passion, sex, creative project, or the third energy, in the aftermath of healing or being a star, or impatient to find peace in deliberations, or announcement is held back. With divine lovers, winged angels, weak, the Queen of Wands reversed, or out of control, Leo or ego. In a nightmare of the awakening, no reunion at present with lover, but sovereign and released from anxiety. The twins and kids help when it's slowing in a twist of fate. The sealed divine feminine completes him, confessing and letting go of burdens while sharing with others and dumping a load. Soon is the Eight of Swords reversed, released from prison and fears, the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy, and the wounded warrior, defensive to the devil, waiting, hello. The Page of Cups, you had me at hello, and keeping to self. Peace and betrayal, and inspiration and dreams, learning with an opportunity or invitation, or a student of the Emperor reversed at work, or they're just kids wanting to learn from their parent at work. Sharing at work, reaping rewards, when the messenger of truth comes in, and he is post-surrender. Impatient dark night, in a bold move in the downturn, in order to offer love as the Knight of Cups at 212, which is the High Priestess and the Hangman. At 213, which is then the High Priestess and the Death card, or transition. And also the number 27 comes up here again, which is the Flame, the Ace of Wands. True love comes up for the masculine, retreat, wedding, and children. Around him, or how he is seen, is the Seven of Cups, but walking down the stairs, not up. So this is like the stairway to heaven in the SIRIAN Starseed deck. It's not like the traditional Seven of Cups. So, but here it's coming up as him walking down the stairs, not up. That the Knight of Wands perhaps is taking back their offer, or grounding and integrating an offer of love. The King of Wands reversed is tired after a journey, or after the kids left, and now they can relax. Busy doing his thing. The masculine needs to clear blocks of the King of Swords, the Emperor reversed, suffering in silence, and the messenger of truth rushing in, telling it as it is, in order to clear unworthiness. Financial discipline comes up, and even more so is moderation. And we talked about that already today, because the 2 4 of Pentacles came up, equaling the 8 of the co-creation between the masculine and feminine, the work, the mission work. The harsh truth of sex, rehabilitation, arrests, hospitalizations or surgery, and the fallen angel. Sagittarius or drinker with attitude or on crack, and that could just be the expression of like attitude on crack, right? Like they're acting like that. Or making potions with a catch. New love, free to leap out of unhappiness, sharing with the divine feminine, their world complete but unhappy without someone to share it with in the aftermath of destruction and withholding. Uncomfortable feelings about twin and kids, and dumping burdens, unable to fight, or just releasing all conflict and stress, and choosing a new path. The King of Wands reversed, shaman, is present to the moment, and the Hermit reversed is going crazy, hanging out with the Empress on top. Or Virgo reversed, Capricorn upright, and Taurus upright at the end here. And the Page of Cups is there with the 3 of Pentacles, the workplace, or place of co-creation, dropping the facade and stepping down. The Hermit reversed and the Page of Pentacles, challenged by the Ten of Cups, that emotional fulfillment of the family, in release from prison. And the King of Swords reversed in transition to new love and self-love. Uncomfortable around others, the King of Wands reversed is present to the flame. Over isolating or coming out just to hang and see new perspectives with the Empress there. The Page of Cups, Hermit reversed, and the Emperor reversed at work with Page of Pentacles, challenged by the Ten of Cups in transition, death, or ending and big changes. Dropping the facade and deliberations to release from prison, anxiety, anything about love, done their 7 steps, now coming back down. The King of Swords reversed, not in his truth, or just in some negative self-talk, being a little bit verbally abusive, or finding self-love, spiritual love, and or a new love. Not leaving, so dealing with those uncomfortable energies. And the King of Wands, Shaman, reversed, has been waiting for nothing. All right, so that's the read that came up. So let me know in the comments if you have anything to add to the connections that were coming through, especially the Bible quotes, that kind of thing. So I'll pull you a few oracle cards here. Let's see what comes up. I have the energy deck right in front of me, so let's see what comes up there first. It's 5626. That's the Two of Swords and the Page of Wands. So being in your knowing and keeping to yourself, and then the Page of Wands of being inspired, excited, perhaps wanting to go out on a date. Okay, so for everybody watching, to the best and highest good of all is concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? What is the advice? What is the point of the read today? Can you please sum it up? And let's clear all the negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and reality, for the highest good of all is concerned, and fill with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. All right, so from the energy deck, here we go. Take a deep breath. All right, that flew out. All right, the World. What was I just getting? I was getting all is quiet with the world. The sound of silence, perhaps? I was getting something else, but I lost it. 29 is the Three of Wands, so, being present to the moment. And what a beautiful moment that is, when all is silent before the sun comes up. At the end of the dock. Down on the boardwalk. Under the boardwalk. So that's coming up, as well as California Dreamin' was coming up. So some Beach Boy stuff is definitely coming up here. We have the World, and then the Woman Holding a Heart. Okay, 44. The grounding and integrating and mastering of the receiving of love. Woman holding a heart. She's ready to receive. And the Man of the World. He's ready to give to the world. She's ready to receive from him, and he's ready to give to the world. Well, that's really beautiful. The next card is the Healer of the Ages, and we talked about the Healer too, and the King of Swords, which is 51. So there's your Jesus and your King of Swords healer, your thinking man. And there are the flames, the twin flames, transmuting. The Healer of the Ages. The bottom of the deck is the Man holding a coin, number 43 again, my son's soul number, which is also the Three of Cups, of coming together and can be reunion as well. So it looks like he's got his finances in order, and he is the Healer of the Ages. He's ready to give to the world. He's been up before the sun, thinking about things, and the feminine is learning how to receive. She's ready to receive. Well, that's really nice. All right. Now we have my Nature's Whispers deck here. So let's see what's coming up with this one. All right. What is the message for everybody? That's March 8th. And that's 3-8, which is the Queen of Cups. Okay, so what is our message here? Big breath, guys. All right, we have two that came out together here. I can't get them to stuck. I want to show you the bottom first. We have laughter. Oh, perfect. Definitely use some laughter. This is like the color of my walls of the room. You can't see in here, but that's like the color of my walls. I don't think I've seen this one yet. It's 47, which is the 7 of Cups. All about the synchronicities and options and heaven in their eyes. And it definitely looks like 2 kids with heaven in their eyes. That's like your inner children playing. Look how beautiful that is. That's the underlying energy. And they're definitely on like Pegasus type horses with wings. With 2 children playing. They're so cute. Lots of magic dust above the billowy clouds. Yeah. And the 2 cards here that came out are Be Spontaneous, which is 31, which is the 5 of Wands. So that's the conflict, competition, expansion, games, playing. Be spontaneous. Expansion. So this is the same thing. We were just talking about the expansion of the 5 of Wands, but this is 12, the Hangman. So be wise in your expansion. All right. So look at the flowers, how they match up. How cool. I got to look at this for a second because I want to see what it wants to tell you guys. So I'm getting Mars right away, looking at this orangey planet. And there's a bunch of balloons going up in this one here, and the expansion card. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 balloons. Beautiful balloon. Up, up and away in my beautiful. So that's coming up. And also the red balloon. That had such a profound effect on me from elementary school, the red balloon. That came up, and someone's walking a deer. It's a young deer has his antlers, but he's young because he's still got spots, being ridden by a little girl. See if we can get up closer so you can see the stuff. Okay, so you can really see the details here. So you see all the balloons here, and you see the faded picture of the woman. And then there's a castle in the flower here. And the holding of the hands is the bridge, like the natural bridge that was brought up in the reed in Utah, the National Monument. And you see also there's a cave down here where there's a masculine and a feminine here in the cave, right? So that's coming together to hermit together, right, before they come out and bridge with others. And these are kind of, I don't know if they're calla lilies or something else, because they look like irises, but they're not shaped like irises. And we have oh look, all the rainbow bridges. Rainbow, rainbow. So this is definitely paralleling all the rainbow bridges. So there's more than one. And in this card, they're showing 2 twin bridges, which twin bridges have been coming up for the past 2 weeks as well. And then we have hummingbird energy. And again, the little girl riding the young deer, the young stud. And let's see what's over here. So again, we have that same flower and like the Mars energy of the masculine. And this is like hands across the water, heads across the sky. So the feminine is the hands across the water, the masculine is the heads across the sky, right? Because it's the thinking man. And the Mars energy. And this one's kind of really simple, but they're still connecting. It's hard to see this, but this is an ET connecting with a little one down here from the tulip, a little fairy. All right, so everybody's making connections and bridges. So I love how these always, you know, the parallels come up between the cards at the same time. It's so cool. So the bridging and the rainbow bridge, hands across the water, heads across the sky. The 4 balloons of the Emperor. Oh, actually, I just saw 4 more balloons. Ah, that's the 4 and the 4. The 4 of Pentacles and the 4 of Pentacles. I don't know if you can see it. All right, there's 4 here, and then there's 4 here as well. I didn't notice them before. So there's paralleling something else as well. And also, what came up was that touchstone, you know, high above where you can't reach is the hummingbird, the fluttering energy, that very high vibration. So it's paralleling everything that came up in the reads. We even have the falls here. There's some falls back here. So Niagara Falls. Oh, I love that. So laughter, be spontaneous, and expansion. And the 31 was expansion too, with wisdom, be wise, and with heaven in your eyes. So this is the 3 cards together. And you see the bridges that are built here. The 2 playing, and then the 2 working to build bridges in the masculine way and then in the feminine way as well. Okay, play, masculine, feminine. Oh, I love that one. All right, let's go to the animal deck, see what they have to tell us, and then we'll just do Metatron. And then I'm going to wrap it up. Oh, that was weird. The somebody's feet being wrapped up came up in the read. I don't know if that was today or yesterday. I don't remember. All right, guys, take a deep breath. See what comes out from the animal deck. A little bit sticky here. All right, these three want to come out. And the bottom of the deck is Prince of Summer, romantic flirtations, introspective, and enchanting. There's the frog turning into the prince. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. So that's about the expand, but stay wise as well. All right, so it's paralleling between the decks even. And I love that the cards that fell out. We have 2 purples and 2 greens for the third eye and the heart, the masculine and the feminine. We have the Magician of the One with the unicorn, and the infinity is on there too, which is the 2 8s upright for me is the infinity on its side. There is magic in the air. You can manifest everything you need to be successful. This symbol here is I brought this up the other day, that when you put the 8 and cross it with the infinity, it makes like a 4-leaf clover, and this is giving me that same kind of energy. It's also, the arrow is pointing downward. I don't know, I'm getting the Merkaba too from that. I don't know why, because it doesn't look like a Merkaba. Maybe it's representing a spinning Merkaba. Very interesting. And this butterfly looks like something in the grass, but it's actually a butterfly right there. So the butterfly, which is a very high vibrational, high flying energy, has grounded. They've landed. And the unicorns are very excited. All right, the 7 of Autumn, the cow. Planning, resources, and efforts you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. 7 of Autumn. It's funny because I was born the year of the ox, so it kind of cracks me up. Huh? 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 All right, there's the cow. Princess of Autumn is the cat. Cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous. The tabby cat. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, such as a promotion or scholarship, is coming your way. Seize this chance to learn something exciting or start a more rewarding and uplifting career. They look like they have, I don't know. The cat looks like they have ties on to make sure their crown doesn't fall off this time. Like someone lost their crown. So now they have strings underneath to make sure it's tied on so they don't lose it this time. Pretty funny. So there's books to read or just books to stack. And again, that's referring to Akashic Records, which came up in the read. And so we have the unicorn, the cow, and the cat. These 2 are funny. The unicorn is pretty free and easy, free to leap and roam. And then the cow and the cat are getting down to business. They're looking right at you. This is like the military recruitment ad. I want you. And then we have the ego of the Siamese cat. Very prim and proper and distinguished. Upper crust only hangs out with the ones that have money. You may feel that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking. All right, so let go of the ego stuff. Again, today's the 15th, so the shadow energies are coming up. And we have the 1 of the Magician as well. So watch out for the dark side of the Magician and the shadow. Do your shadow work. We have green of the heart and the purples of the third eye. And we got 2 cool cats. So somebody might have 2 choices, and the cow's going, huh? All right. 2 cool cats, a cow, a sacred cow, and a unicorn. Huh? This cat, I'm getting this cat swearing in. So somebody could be swearing in. And I'm also getting from this one, the cat's choosing this book, but then because they want to do what they think the other person wants. So be careful about that. Don't choose the book because of what you think the other person might want. Make sure you choose it based on what you want, your authenticity. Don't forget about that. Cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous. So they may be messing with you a bit. That could be a little bit of manipulation. And not to mention the Siamese cat. There's oozing manipulation there, right? This one has the sparkly collar with a leash, but this one has their crown and it is tied on securely. What helmet I'm thinking on? Like, I don't know, like a riding hat or getting on a motorcycle, a helmet. Like this crown is not coming off. That's pretty funny, the energy I'm getting. All right, just the Metatron deck, and then I'm going to go. I can find the Metatron deck. Where did you go? Not there, not there, not there. Here it is. Okay, Metatron. All right, Metatron, what is our last words of wisdom from you for this read today? What does Niagara mean to us? The etheric altar, the 72 and the 7 seals. What does this all mean? What do you want us to know, Metatron? And the 144. All right, here. Take a deep breath, guys. This is from Metatron. Ooh, that came out nice and smooth. Let's see what it is. Blessings and thanks, abundant universe. Well, there you go. It's all yours. 47. Okay, heaven in your eyes. Synchronicities. Follow your signs and synchronicities, your guidance. And it's like the cornucopia. You know, the world is yours. The next best thing since sliced bread I was just getting as well. And this wants to come out too. The red, the safety and security, strength and power. 55 is the truth. Excalibur came up in the read. And the shaman also came up in the read. So a lot of root energy coming up. People getting insecure because they don't feel safe. And that could have to do with Native Americans, Lemuria, that kind of energy coming up. And then the bottom of the deck here is Akashic Records. So again, that came up as the book. It's Akashic Records. So Metatron's confirming that for you, that the book they're referring to is the Akashic Records. So he's willing to give me one of the answers. It's like I'm on a game show. 12 is the Hangman and evaluation and review. All right, so it's time to review Akashic Records. That's the underlying energy, so we're going away from that. And we're going towards working on the root chakra, getting a firm, stable foundation that makes you feel safe and secure, and natural, green, even though this is red. We have TPs there too. Yeah, and then just Thanksgiving. Give thanks every day. Blessings and thanks, abundant universe. Fruit. What else do I want to see about this? Ah, so I wasn't getting that Thanksgiving because the Indians and the Pilgrims. Okay. Give thanks every day, and that you're all different and the same. The variety is the spice of life. Okay, so those are the messages there. I'm going to show you the cards before I go. It's just 1404. So actually it was 1144. A lot of 144 energies here. The underlying energy here is the Page of Cups. Recent past is Reflection of a Hermit. The foundation is 3 of Crystals, the co-creation energy. What is this one? This is the Page of Crystals, so the Page of Pentacles in the middle. The challenge being the 10 of Cups, so chalices. The other underlying energies there with the Emperor reversed. The crowning position is the Death card or transition, going through the portal. And you see down here, the gate is open. Okay, we go across the 40 bridge. The rainbow bridge today. And the 8 of Orbs comes up, which is reversed, released from prison or anxiety, fears. And the masculine seeing himself as the 2 crystals, but reversed today. dropping the facade and breaking patterns. And then we have the 7 of chalices around him, which is reversed also. Coming down the steps, maybe finish their steps. Maybe if someone's in a step program, they're done with their steps. And the blocks he needs to clear has to do with the King of Swords. I believe the King of Swords was reversed. The King and Queen of Swords, I think, were reversed. And then look at the card colors. We have pink and green, so very much the heart and compassion energies and the high heart. We end up there with the Ace of Cups upright. We have the Eight of Cups above that, which is reversed in uncomfortable energies today. The Shaman's reversed as well, the Knight of Wands. And then above that is the 3 of Wands, which is upright, so present to the flame. And we end up there with the Empress on top, which can represent Gaia as well, and the Mother, the Godhead, Sophia, which came up in the read. The underlying energies there are the sacral and the solar plexus energies, but that may have to do with betrayal and pain and ending that. Divorce and breaking contracts comes up there, and that's pretty much it, guys. All right, hang in there. It was a rough day for me. I need to get some sleep. I did take a little bit of a nap. But drink your water, get your rest, rise and be loved. Bye.